There was some other country.
As a Republican candidate put it in the first debate, countries like China and Mexico have abused American generosity and hijacked U.S. jobs.
We have to renegotiate our trade deals. Unless they're taking our jobs, they're giving incentives, they're doing things that, frankly, we don't do.
Trump calls NAFTA, the 1994 North American Free Trade Agreement, the worst ever approved. And he promises to scuttle the pending Trans-Pacific Partnership, which Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton once described as the gold standard of trade deals.
The facts are, I did say I hoped it would be a good deal, but when it was negotiated, which I was not responsible for, I concluded it wasn't.
TPP would create one of the world's largest free trade zones, 12 Pacific nations representing nearly 40% of the world's GDP. Labor groups are among the most fervent critics. AFL-CIO President Richard Trumka says TPP is not a trade deal, but an outsourcing deal. Some say trade is often blamed unfairly.
But actually trade is a relatively minor cause of job losses. The evidence shows that well over 80%, so 1810 of job losses in advanced economies are not due to imports or to trade, but to increase productivity through technology and innovation.
World Bank President Jim Yong Kim says protectionism hurts everyone.
When we were at the G20 meeting, we heard many world leaders really sound the alarm about the storm clouds of isolationism, protectionism, and they were very worried, every single one of them.
The storm clouds attributed to global trade have grown more consequential since China's entry into the World Trade Organization in 2000. Since then, cheaper labor costs and the surge of Chinese goods have been blamed for the loss of an estimated 5 million manufacturing jobs in the U.S. The anti-trade sentiment is likely to persist so long as the U.S. does little to help displaced workers.
That has been the critical policy failure, I would say, in the past 25 years, that policymakers have known in the abstract that there would be losers, but the assumption was that the economy was dynamic enough and flexible enough and big enough and diverse enough to absorb the people who had been displaced by trade.
But trade is not a zero-sum game. While U.S. automakers could face increased competition from Japanese car makers, American farmers say lower tariffs to Pacific Rim countries will increase their food exports by more than $5 billion. Arcega, VOA News, Washington.